today's journey that we're going to be talking about is becoming a professional boxer. And I want to welcome Walt McCord. Welcome, bro. Welcome. Man, we were actually, before the cameras came on, you and I were talking for like 20 minutes. And I was like, yo, like, let's stop, let's pause talking so we could turn it on and then just really get into it. I wanted to save all of the conversations for it. But I also want to let you introduce yourself to the world and everyone out there too.
Right, so Walt McCord from Atlanta, Georgia. I'm 25 years old now, but when I first started martial arts and boxing, I think I was 14 in the 10th grade. And I had just always been attracted to it as a kid. And I think the main things that attracted me to martial arts especially was anime and stuff like that. I used to watch a lot of anime, still do. You know what I'm saying? Like Naruto, Dragon Ball, you know, the stuff like a young teenage boy would watch. And then one day in 10th grade, I was like, man, I'm gonna just do it. I had a mentor at the time who was tutoring me in math and English, and I was like, hey, can we try to go to this martial arts studio? I was looking it up, and he was like, yeah, let's go. So we went to the martial arts studio, and then it just took off from there.
Yeah, for sure, man. I feel like we have a lot that we're gonna cover today, because I know in fighting, it goes back. I'm always like curious sometimes, like, because you know the whole vision of the podcast is share the journey. And, you know, having you on today, I want the viewers and the listeners, for anyone that might have an interest in becoming a professional boxer, to understand like what one's journey was to get to this point. And so we really want to dive today into what does it take to become a professional boxer, all the steps that help Walt get to that stage, and him just kind of sharing that journey. And some of you might relate to it. Some of you might be inspired to maybe do a different goal. And we're going to cover all that today. But I just want to first kind of kick off with, well, first and foremost, man, like, appreciate you coming on the podcast. We talked about this. I bumped into you and we were like, yo, we got to make this podcast happen. And we did. So appreciate you coming on, man. I'm excited for today. But yeah, so basically I want to kind of start from, we're going to be talking about the entire journey up until today. And also I want to note, you had your first professional boxing fight this past weekend, second round knockout. Good stuff, bro. Good stuff, man. So this is truly the beginning of your professional boxing journey, but it started years ago. Right. And I want to dive into that right now of before the Muay Thai, before kickboxing, 10th grade when you're talking about it, like, I want to go a little bit even maybe before that. Like, did you ever notice childhood when you were growing up? Like, was there anything in your mind when you first started, when it was just in combat in general? Like,
man, so I guess you could really say it was really my upbringing and stuff like that. So, like I said, I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I'm from, I call it the ex-hood because it ain't really the hood no more with all the gentrification that happens in the city now. But it was called the Bluff. And so, like, on the west side of Atlanta, and man, I grew up there, rough neighborhood. You know, they used to have that, I think they got that documentary on Netflix still. It's called Snow on the Bluff. No way. Yeah, and man, it's just a really rough neighborhood, and fighting was a common habit, you know what I'm saying? Similar to how like it is in third world countries and stuff like that, where like the kids, we kind of run around, do whatever we want to do because there's not a lot of parental supervision. And yeah, we was really like little grown men out there, you know what I'm saying? Didn't have the responsibilities or the idea of what it meant to be a grown man, but like we was out there doing a lot of things that, you know, we shouldn't have been doing as a kid and stuff. And so one of those things was fighting. Like we was always getting into fights in the street, and like I like doing it, I ain't gonna lie. Like, bro, there was a time of day when I was a kid, like, bro, I was probably fighting like every day at one point, on the bus, in school, everything, man. I was in that big getting active, bro. And like, you know, it wasn't good because like I ain't never get suspended in school. I think I got suspended one time. I got to fight on the bus, and they used to have them cameras. Yeah. And we got caught, me and my little brother was jumping over chairs and shit. Yeah, man, that was crazy. That was crazy. But like, man, what really got me into the martial arts studio was my 10th grade year, and my childhood friend Day got killed. Yeah, so like a lot of my friends, like who, you know, we grew up with in the hood and stuff like that, are either dead or, you know, in jail and incarcerated and stuff like that. So, you know, when Day got killed, he got killed in a brutal way. Got shot like 13 times. And like I went to his funeral, and like he's a light-skinned boy, and so like when I went, he was like all bloated and brown and unrecognizable. Like I was like, oh yeah, this shit ain't it for me no more. I had to really sit there and think about what were my next step in life, because I was already so angry and, you know what I'm saying, dealing with a lot of stuff like inner turmoil in the house and dealing with the, you know, the product, being a product of my environment. Like I had so much anger like within myself. So you know, seeing it happen to Day and just seeing where his family was and how like distraught everybody is, I was like, man, yeah, I gotta find something. I gotta find something. So like I thought about it for like that whole summer because he got killed in the summer, like 2 weeks after my birthday. And after his funeral, I was like, man, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna just figure out how I'm gonna get in the martial arts gym. And I ain't had no money, like we come from poverty and stuff like that, me and my family. And so like I ain't had no money or nothing like that, but I had a good tutor at the time, and he helped me get into the martial arts studio. And like when I got in the martial arts studio, like the only thing I had to do was keep my grades up, and I was already smart in school, so that's all I did.
Man, and when you started in the martial arts, what was it specifically at first? Like what did you was it like kickboxing? Was it like what were you doing at the gym when you first got into the gym? And do you remember your first gym experience?
Yeah.
When it was like we're not fighting in the streets anymore, like we're now like in the gym. Like, do you remember that first day? And then also like what kind of fighting was it? Was it like I know you said mixed martial arts, but
Right. Man, so like when I first went, I actually was going for boxing, bro, because like in the hood, we always have this weird taboo thing going on where it's like, man, you can't throw kicks, man. That, you know what I'm saying? Don't throw kicks. Yeah. Like people say don't throw kicks and stuff. And so like, man, I was actually going to do boxing and stuff like that, but I didn't have any clue the difference between a boxing gym and a martial arts studio, and I was in a martial arts studio. You know what I'm saying? At the time, they had like a UFC fighter there and everything. You know what I'm saying? So when I went, they was like, oh, why don't you jump in Muay Thai? You know what I'm saying? So I was like, all right. So I jumped in that. It was fun and stuff like that. I ain't get to do like any sparring or nothing like that, but I got to, you know, work out and do all that. Then I think I did a jiu-jitsu class right after that. I was like, man, I ain't doing this no more. I was like 14, 15. I ain't had a type of focus. You got to be real focused to do jiu-jitsu. I got a lot of respect for it, but it just wasn't for me.
yeah, man, wow. And so those are kind of like the early days. What made you start coming back into the gym, and like what brought you back into the gym?
Bro, really the anger, bro. Like I was like, man, I gotta do this shit, else I'm gonna be out there getting shot at or, you know what I'm saying, in jail, you know what I'm saying, or just lost, you know? So like, it was really just me just having like a purpose in life. Cause like, even though I was smart in school, like I always had A's and B's or straight A's, like, bro, I didn't like it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the reason why I didn't go to college. Like, I graduated with a 3.5, so I wasn't dumb. Like, I could have easily went. You know, but like I was like, man, that's just not my calling. You know what I'm saying? Sitting at a desk doing a 9 to 5, no disrespect to anybody who does it. Like I have a lot of respect for people who can go to college route for however many years and stuff, but it just wasn't a route for me. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, man, I gotta figure out what my calling is. And then when I stepped in that martial arts studio, I never stepped out of it. I never stopped training. Like I've been training consistently for 10 years.
So when you stepped in, and this is kind of now going into the journey part of like the combat space and, you know, us like getting to the whole professional boxing journey. But at that time when you're in the gym, mixed martial arts, like when did you start getting into like, was it kickboxing first, Muay Thai second? Was it like, it's very similar, right? Mm-hmm. But how did that start off? What did you decide, like, I'm gonna go this route? Do you remember like how was that beginning of that? I guess like starting to share that part of the journey where you started kickboxing or you started Muay Thai. Which one came first, and then how did that?
Technically, I was in a Muay Thai class, but I wouldn't exactly call it Muay Thai. You know, so I would say it was more like a hybrid martial art that we were learning because it was a class that was really more for MMA guys, but at the same time, like the dude was saying, like he was from Brazil and he, you know, was an Anderson Silva coach, and that shit was cap. He was lying about that shit, but. Yeah, so like I wouldn't even say it was Muay Thai. It was more like a hybrid martial art, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like we definitely like threw all the strikes, like the elbows, the knees. But of course, like, as I learned down the line, there's definitely like an intricate detail between Muay Thai and kickboxing. You know what I'm saying? I think I was more learning kickboxing, in my opinion. Especially like what I call him my uncle, but like, he's not blood related to me, but like he kind of took care of me in my younger years. His name's Trevor. He really was more of a kickboxer, like a Dutch style kickboxer with like a karate influence. So I would definitely say I was more of a kickboxer, you know what I'm saying, coming up, and I was learning more kickboxing skills. And then I ended up linking up with my first childhood coach. His name's Smiley. He's a professional boxer from the New Jersey area. So it was like a blend of both of those styles. So I would say it was more like a mixture between kickboxing and old school boxing.
Got it. So when you started competing, so now like jumping into competing space, you got a lot of fights under your belt. What was kind of like the ratio of kickboxing and what was like was it like, because once you get into competing, there is a difference, right? Like Muay Thai, you had your Muay Thai matches, then you had your kickboxing matches. What's like which one did you start competing in first?
Kickboxing.
Kickboxing?
Definitely kickboxing.
And then was it a blend of both? Would you do like kickboxing and then Muay Thai matches, or was it kickboxing?
Nah, I was pretty much only doing kickboxing for a long time. But then when everybody saw like I was so good at that, you know what I'm saying, and they was like, oh, no, we're not fighting unless it's Muay Thai. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I actually got into Muay Thai. That's how I ended up meeting one of my second coaches named Justin Burns. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I ended up.
Shout out to all the coaches, man. I mean, you just named like a couple right there. So it's crazy. Like that's already part of your journey, like meeting those right people. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, so that's how I ended up getting into Muay Thai because nobody wanted to fight me in kickboxing. So I had to learn the elbows, the clinching, and all that other stuff.
So why did no one want to fight you in kickboxing?
Is
that nice?
Yeah, I was whooping their
I saw
ass,
your
bro.
videos, man. I saw your videos. And earlier, before we started recording, we were talking about like, what was it, flexibility in the hips?
Yeah.
Man, you throw that leg up, man. Those are some high kicks. And I saw your back spins too, like your back kicks. I saw those.
That's how that came from my uncle.
Yeah, I
karate.
saw one of your. I think you fought someone named Malcolm. I think it was. It was one of the title fights, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was watching those.
Oh, yeah, shout out to Twin, man.
Yeah, you
Shout out
were
to
spinning
boy.
front and back, and but yeah. So, and how many championship fights? You had a couple of them, right? So I know.
I had a lot of them, bro. I got. I'm trying to remember.
You had your first one. Was your first one your 12th fight? Is that what it was?
No. I have like 9 amateur kickboxing titles, and I got 1 professional kickboxing title. Okay. Yeah. So that's 10. Yeah.
All
10.
right. You had the NFC fight though, right? At the NFC.
Yeah, I fought. That's actually the place. Shout out to them too, man. Like we had our differences and stuff like that, but that's the first promotion I fought in. They was actually me and another kid named Jamar. We were the first 2 juniors that fought in Georgia. You know what I'm saying? Me and him. So like, shout out to them because they definitely gave us a path into the fight world.
Okay. And then when did that kind of happen? After like, what does the timeline look like? You're 25 now. You started about in the 10th grade. So like, what?
14 turned to 15 when I started, and my first fight was when I was 16. Yeah, I was 16.
16.
Yep. 16 first fight.
Championship fight.
16 as well. 16 as well. Yep.
And then how was it winning your first belt?
Man, bro, it's just like, cause you know all that work you put in, bro. Like, man, I'll tell you about that summer actually. That summer,
I got a little emotional in that one fight, and then one of the championship fights. I saw it. I was like, man, I actually watched the whole thing.
For real?
Yeah, I watched it. Yeah, I watched the whole thing, and I saw at the end, and it was a good fight. It was a good fight, and I know at the end.
2-year layoff.
Yeah, and you it got to you a little bit, like you felt that one.
And
But you-
49-46 with your winner by split decision, Walter McCord.
And that decision goes to Walt.
man, I remember that year. It was 2016, bro. Like, man, I just was training like a fool, bro. That's all I was doing, and like I was training for the IKF World Classic. It was in Florida, and man, I just wanted to win that fight so bad because like I wanted to win that whole tournament so bad because I had like a hard exhibition against a dude who had like 12 fights, and like, bro, if it was on paper, you know what I'm saying, in county, he would have won for sure. And I was like, because he kicked my ass. So I was like, man, ain't no fucking way, bro. I ain't about to go out like that, man. And so I like worked my ass off all that summer. And like, bro, when I first started doing road work, but that was my first time ever running. I was running in some Timberland boots, bro. Wow. I ain't even know nothing about running. I ain't know nothing about getting running shoes or nothing like that. Wow. So I was just running in my boots. You know what I'm saying? And like, bro, that really like changed my whole landscape of like fitness and stuff like that, bro. I went in there and it was crazy. It was crazy just seeing like my cardio and like everything that my coach was telling me to do, Smiley and stuff like that for conditioning and stuff. Like it really did work when I was in there.
And you've always had like a natural cardio, you would say, and then adding running to it just kind of really solidified it, took it to the next level. So even when you got older, your tank just got even more like efficient and bigger and better and everything. So all right, you started at 14, 15, 16, first title fight at 16. And then how does the years kind of come after that? You're like 17, 18. What's kind of going on in that period?
Well, around that time, like I was, focused on graduating. I graduated when I was 17. Yeah. And so I was really focused on school. So I didn't get to fight a lot when I was 17. I think I only fought maybe once. But then when I was 18, it turned up. I fought like 7 times that year. Wow. No, 5 times when I was 18, and like 7 times when I was 19. So I was fighting a bunch, bro. And when I was 18, it was pretty much damn near all title fights. That wasn't on purpose either. Yeah. It was just people just calling me up. like, oh, fight this dude here, fight this dude there, and stuff like that. So like I was real busy in my my teenage years.
Yeah. And how is it for someone, like, for example, a lot of that you were in school, right? Like, how is it for someone that's in school also is training boxing? Because this is different, right? Like, people are in school, like, you've got a program already for if you want to play soccer, if you want to play football, if you want to play volleyball, you have a program in school. But boxing is like, obviously schools are not really, like, it's not in schools. So how difficult is it for someone that's in school, in high school like you were, to be able to find that gym and like start training, start working out, start competing? How difficult would you say it is? Do you think like...
Bro, I don't think it's really that difficult because, like, well, first of all, like, I had early work release, so I would leave school when I was like at 1 o'clock. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So I always was able to get out of there and stuff like that, get on the bus, get on the train, like a little 2-hour trip to get there and back and stuff. But like, I really feel like if you wanted to go for it, like, of course you were gonna have to like do the groundwork yourself to do it. Yep. You know what I'm saying? But you could do it. You could definitely do it. It just depends on if the person wants to do it or not. You know, most people, you know, would rather like, you know, play football. You know, if they're a girl, they're doing cheerleading or whatever the case might be. You know what I'm saying? I just wasn't interested in any of that stuff. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, man, I'm just gonna do me. Like, if you knew me, I went to Redan High School. Like, you knew me in Redan, you know what I'm saying? You knew me because of like my hair, or you knew me because of fighting and stuff like that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Or you knew of me because of those things. Like, I talk to people from school all the time who be like, bro, man, I actually just talked to somebody on Instagram before my professional fight. He was like, bro, I'm surprised like we ain't never talked to each other in school. And I was like, man, that was done on purpose. Like, man, I wasn't in there on purpose. Like, every time 1 o'clock would hit, I'd be gone. Yeah. Every time. I was in and I was out.
And were you training every day?
Every day.
When you were in high school?
Every day. Every day. I was up there every day, bro. Dang. Every day.
That's crazy, man. I remember when I first saw you running on the belt line, I was like, man, this guy's focused, man. Yeah, I mean, you got one of the loudest music, too. But you're so focused, man.
Man, you know where I got that from, bro? Yeah. Carrying the speaker? Man, COVID, bro, COVID. Because I was like, man, look, man, I was living in a predominantly white neighborhood up in like the Druid Hills area. And, you know, there's a lot of racial tension going on at that time as well, going on with COVID. So I was like, man, look, man, these folks ain't about to be over here talking about this black dude, this, that, the third. So you can hear me coming from a mile away. You can hear me, bro. You can hear me. You can't even say I'm doing anything out here but what I'm doing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that's actually where I got it from. I just kept doing it because I would sweat my headphones out all the time. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not about to buy no $200 headphones and just sweat them shits out. So I was like, man, let me just keep doing it.
Man, it's a pretty big speaker too. For some reason, I can't even run with my phone in my hand. It's so like, I just have my watch on me and I'm just like running, but nah, man.
Music though, bro, I be vibing.
Yeah.
Bro. Like in COVID.
Everyone tells me, they're like, you need to listen to music. Yeah. And I don't listen to anything.
You don't listen to that?
Nah, I'm just kind of.
Man, I've done that before. I've raced and done that before. Yeah. And I had a good time when I did. I had like an 1806 when I did that, but man, it's just better with the music, bro. It's better. 1806. What's that? It's like a 5:49 pace for a 5K. 5K.
Oh, okay, for a 5K. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I was just kind of doing that for fun in my off time for fighting. Yeah. But yeah, bro. So I just kept carrying the speaker and stuff like that because I used to just vibe out, bro. Because in COVID, I'd be hitting like 10 to 18 to 20 mile runs all the time. Wow. Like I said, there weren't nothing to do.
Man, I see you running all the time. And how many miles are you running on average the other week?
Right now, my average is like 45 to 50.
45 to 50?
Yeah, 45 to 50, yeah. And I'm probably going to keep it there because I feel like if I go anything over that, it's going to hurt.
So hold up, you're running like, how many miles a day? Like, is it?
On average, I think, it's like 7.5 or 8.
But you're running every day?
Yeah, every day.
Oh, every day. There's no like.
Saturday and Sunday.
Oh, okay. So that's what I meant. So okay, got it.
Yeah, so that's something I did learn, you know what I'm saying? Because when I was younger, I used to run every day, Monday through Sunday. And then I was like, oh shit, here come them 20s, them early to mid 20s. And now like I'm getting strained and stuff. So I had to cut it on down a little bit.
Yeah, that's still a lot, man. You're running as much as, I have friends right now training for a marathon that's in Philadelphia. And they're running like 45, 50 miles a week.
Yeah, it's a sweet spot. Like,
So but I'm saying you're running is not even like, you're not training for a marathon, but the miles you're putting in is I can't even say it. As if you're running
running a race. Yeah, getting ready to train for a race. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's
Man, the reason why, like, a lot of people, I know, like, nowadays, like, at least in the fight world, you know, there's a lot of, like, controversy on, like, training methods and stuff like that. But one thing, I'm very old school with my approach and stuff. Yeah. And all the legends, like Muhammad Ali, Ken Norton, really you can name anybody, like, from the past, especially boxing, they all run. Including in Muay Thai, like all of them run. Yeah. You know, so that's something I would never not do. But then, like, remember I told you I was also racing and stuff like that as well. And so, like, when I actually picked up the skill of how to run, you know what I'm saying, versus the grit of being a boxer and stuff like that, like, I just like, man, I'm gonna keep doing it and make it my own secret weapon. I call it weaponized cardio. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's something in my back pocket that I know other fighters don't have. Like, other fighters ain't running 5-minute miles. They're not running 6-minute miles for 10 miles. Like, my fastest 10 miles is 6:35. Nice. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not doing that type of stuff. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you know, it's just a little thing I keep in the back of my head.
Yeah. Dang. No, that's really good. I'm gonna have to run with you, man.
Man, you do, bro.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to keep up with that 6:35 pace, but
you gotta come out.
we should run together soon. After this injury, I'll be out there. I'm gonna see you out there.
So me and my boy, we be running on Saturday. Yeah. Me and my boy, yeah, we have a little group. We run on Saturday. We don't be early. It be like 12, 1 o'clock. Okay. Cool. Yeah, it's a good little time.
Yeah. Man, wow. So COVID hits. That COVID time for you, like, how's everything, like, fighting wise, like the gyms?
Nothing, bro. Nothing. That was another one of my big layoffs, bro, because of COVID. It's like 2 years, damn near, almost 2 years. No fights, bro. It went from 7 fights to no fights.
5, 7,
yeah,
0,
to pretty much.
Dang.
Pretty much. I think I was nearly running up on the 2-year mark when I finally fought again. Okay. You know what I'm saying? But, like, yeah, bro, and COVID, it was fun, though. I ain't gonna lie, COVID was fun. Yeah, because all I was doing was just working out and talking to little chicks and stuff like that here and there. That's all I was doing. And they had nothing to do. They had nothing good to do, bro, but that. You know what I'm saying? I think we were out of work for like, how long was I out of work? Not long. We was only out of work for like 2 months or something like that. And then we went back to the gym, was opening. And then we was there, and it was kind of like slow and stuff like that because everybody was still worried about COVID and stuff. Yeah. But, man, yeah, I was just training and, you know what I'm saying, and running all the time. That's all I was doing.
So COVID hits, almost 2 years of no fighting. Yeah. You're kind of like laying a bit low. You're still doing some training, right? And, man, at that time, it's like, what, 2022, like kicking off?
No, 2021 when I fought.
Okay, 2021.
Yeah. So that's what I say. It was almost like it was almost. Cause no, yeah. That's right. Yeah, because I remember my last fight was in 2019 in August. And then I fought July, on my birthday, actually, July of 2021. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. And then what's going on? Like, how many fights are we doing at that time? Like, how's...
Not a lot. And I'll tell you why. So, like, I had a really good pro debut, you know what I'm saying, in kickboxing, in Muay Thai. And I had to do Muay Thai.
So
I wanted to do
kickboxing. Your pro debut
kickboxing.
was when?
2021.
2021?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then I fought another fight in 2021. I ended up getting cut in that fight right here. I got cut in that fight, lost by doctor stoppage. And, like, man, I honestly shouldn't have taken that fight, bro. A lot of people don't know anything about that because I have a habit, being from the hood, of, like, bottling stuff up and not talking about it. And I ain't going to go in that too much because I don't want to shit on the girl who I was with. But I was with her, you know what I'm saying? And I shouldn't have took that fight because, like, we had an abortion and stuff like that, like, right before. And I ain't want to admit that, like, that, you know, did a number on my mental and stuff like that. You know, I just kind of bottled it up and just kind of like was like, I'm just do what I can and stuff like that. You know, my outlet is fighting. And so I was like, well, I got this professional fight coming up. I also had an injury, too, leading into that fight. And so I was like, well, shit, I got to do something because I ain't want to sit in my emotions. I was too emotional and stuff like that in my head. You know, and so I took that fight. You know, unfortunately lost the fight, you know, but ended up bouncing back, and I was supposed to fight. I ended up fighting again in 2022, the start of 2022, for the Waco and stuff. And I ended up winning that world title, state title. And I was supposed to go to Brazil, but then just a lot of weird stuff. Man, dude, 2022 to 2023 was a violent leap in terms of change. You know what I'm saying? Like, that relationship that I just was talking about ended up, of course, falling apart. You know what I'm saying? And lost a lot of friends who I thought were going to always be, like, you know, kind of day ones and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of big changes, like, in terms of life starting to happen. You know what I'm saying? And I was not prepared for it in a lot of ways, especially, like, with the relationship stuff. Because me and that girl, even though, like, we had that, like, traumatic situation, we tried to work it out, and we did for a while. And we ended up getting engaged in the beginning of 2023 and stuff like that. And I was also struggling with finding fights that people were pulling out and stuff like that a lot. And I was also not in the gym. You know what I'm saying? Me and the gym fell out that I was with as a childhood, in my childhood. And just a lot of stuff was happening, man. I fell out with the gym. Me and the girl was kind of going through it and stuff like that. I started working security, you know what I'm saying, in a nightclub and stuff like that to try to, like, you know, give me something to do because fighting wasn't really hitting like it's supposed to or normally does. And, like, man, I damn near almost took another 2-year layoff, bro. You know what I'm saying? Damn near. You know, and I ended up fighting in, like, November of 2023 after being in Japan and Thailand for a while. And me and the girl were broken up by then. You know, I wasn't really at a particular gym. You know what I'm saying? I was just kind of training with homies and stuff like on tennis courts. Yeah, that's one thing I did like about COVID because it really taught me that I could train anywhere. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's what I did. You know what I'm saying? I trained in a gym, every Muay Thai gym, a little bit here and there towards the end. And, man, I was just really just trying to bite down and keep going. That's the best way to describe, like, that change era that I was in.
So it seems like in those couple of years, that 2022, 2023, is like a lot of stuff going on in your life that, you know, that you were just kind of going through that really, it only you know, like, what kind of growth you got from certain situations deep down. You know those growths, and like you said, like, you know, you used a lot of things to be able to help you in your next stage, your next chapter in your life. I was also gonna say, so Japan and Thailand, what'd you have? How did that come about? And,
man, me and the girl, and, like, bro, I give a lot of respect to her because, like, man, she was a little bit older than me, and she definitely was more financially stable, and she definitely helped me get out there and helped all that a lot. Like, she really was, like, the reason I was able to go out there and stuff like that.
Was there a fight?
No, we went out. I was going out there to fight. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It didn't really work out how I wanted it to or how I envisioned it because I grew up a certain type of way in terms of how, like, the fight world is supposed to go. Like, my childhood coach, he imprinted in me, you know what I'm saying, like, how, like, a camp is supposed to go and how, like, fights are supposed to go. And, like, when I went out there and I thought that's, like, the type of vibe that I was going to be able to get and stuff like that, man, I was kind of shocked and kind of disappointed as that wasn't what it was. And that had nothing to do with the gym that I was in. It was just the simple fact that, like, when I went out there, I think I was just misunderstood about, like, how long it would take and what could be done from them. Like, yeah, they'll help you and stuff like that, but that don't mean they're going to drop everything that they're doing to help you, particularly when they have, like, 100 other yous around. And, like, remember we were talking about that before we put the camera on, about, like, people in America being in a small pond when it comes to fighting. They're the big fish in the small pond, and then you go to a place like Thailand or Europe, and, like, everybody's a big fish. Yeah. You're the small guy now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Or not even necessarily the small guy, because I can keep up with those guys any day of the week. But it's just a simple fact that, like, bro, there's a bunch of you. Like, you're not the star like you were in your little gym in Atlanta, Georgia, or wherever you're from. And so, like, that was a huge wake-up call for me in terms of, like, realizing, like, oh, like, you can't just move across the country just because Thailand is considered, like, you know, the fight capital of the world and think that's going to solve, you know, whatever issues you might have, like, in terms of, like, not finding fights or not having the team or whatever the case might be, you know what I'm saying? Like, because they want things done a certain type of way, and I want things done a certain type of way. So you have to understand, like, there has to be, like, a give and take, and there has to be, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Where both parties is, like, you know, kind of, I can't remember the word I'm looking for, but, like, you just have to be willing to do what they say, and, you know, they're not going to be willing to do what you say. Like, you kind of get with their program. You know what I'm saying? And, like, when I realized that,
like, it was one-sided.
Yeah, it was super one-sided. You know what I'm saying? And when I realized that, I also talked to other guys who were foreigners who were out there with me. They was like, oh, man, I didn't realize, like, this was just going to kind of be a free-for-all. Yeah. Like, they was like, oh, man, I'm about to go back home. And honestly, that also was like a precursor to breaking that relationship up, too. Because she was really upset, and rightfully so, honestly, that we went all the way out there, and nothing really came out of it other than training. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, you know, I can't blame her at all for, like, you know, bringing that up. But, like, there was also a lot of other stuff, you know what I'm saying, that I ain't even got to go into that why that relationship ended. But, yeah, if you are trying to go to Thailand to fight, I would say go over there with connections. Because that's something that I've been hearing that all my life when I was a kid, but, like, I didn't really understand that until I was in it. You can't just go somewhere and just expect your talent to carry you. That's not how that works in the real world. And that doesn't matter if that's fighting. That doesn't matter if you're trying to be a doctor, you know what I'm saying, or whatever the case might be, bro. You got to have connections. You got to know people. You have to have people to vouch for you and be like, oh, yeah, this guy is this or this lady is this. You know what I'm saying? So if you were...
Did you have a connection when you went out there?
I did it. I didn't.
So you just kind of went.
I just kind of went. I just kind of took, you know, I was just like, man, I'm going. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's a huge leap.
Wow.
And that leap didn't work for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
And then what year did you come back?
it was same year. So I was out there for like 4 months.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's when I came back. Came back in like June.
All right.
I left in
And
February.
then, so, you know, you did Muay Thai and you did kickboxing. And then now, you know, kind of wheeling it back to the professional boxing journey of like how you got to boxing. So if I was doing research on you and I was looking at all your fights and everything, I feel like I would have predicted you more going into mixed martial arts than boxing. Like, what made you select boxing? And is it the end of the road for mixed martial arts? Like, which one is it?
Man, I have a lot of respect for MMA and MMA fighters, man. I have a lot of good friends who are MMA fighters. The Malcolm guy you just brought up, bro, man, great MMA fighter. He's actually in the UFC now.
Is he in the UFC?
Yeah, he just got in the UFC. He just got a contract.
No way.
Yeah, bro. Shout out to Twin, man. Shout out, man.
I know he was on the Dana White.
Yeah, bro. He's solid, bro.
series, right?
Solid.
That's crazy.
Uh-huh. And, man, I got a lot of respect for that shit, man. I just have no interest in it at all, bro. I have so many people, I'm talking about possible managers and all that, but like, bro, you could take this route, this MMA route. I'm just like, nope. But I'll tell you why. So the reason why is because the coach I just brought up, Smiley, heavy influence over my style, over who I am as a man, especially as a fighter. My whole journey and my whole like path was eventually going to be boxing. Like if you watch me, especially growing up when I was young, bro, I was pretty much a boxer who was kicking. Like, that's who I was, especially in my very first tournament that I was talking to you about. Yeah. Like, I was always, like, a hands-based guy. I didn't really start getting good at kicking until I met Justin Burns down the line and stuff like that. And, like, man, even though, like, Muay Thai and kickboxing is very fun, you know what I'm saying, very exciting. Like, if you watch one championship, some of the best fights you'll ever see in your life. Same thing with K1, but at the same time, there's no money in it, bro. And, like, I don't mean to, like, bring race into this, but, like, bro, if you're not Asian living over in Asia, like, bro, you're not going to make no money in that shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? You're really not. And I have no problem, you know what I'm saying, with that being the case, but I just, coming from where I come from and knowing how, you know, finances are, bro, I just couldn't give any more of my time to it. You know what I'm saying? And, like, that was something that I was honestly coming to grasp with earlier this year. You know what I'm saying? I was like, man, this shit fun and all that, but I got bills, bro. I'm not a kid no more. Yeah. Like, bro, you know, Muay Thai and kickboxing was lit, like, when I was 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and didn't have that many responsibilities. And then I got older, and like, you know, because of COVID, I didn't take that boxing route that I wanted to take because I was already transitioning then before COVID hit. And kickboxing and Muay Thai was just the easier route because I already had a foothold there. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, took some time off through this summer, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, man, talked to my childhood coach, we linked back up. And he was like, well, I got these connections and this, that, and the third. I know this always been your dream. Like, what you want to do? And I was like, man, shit, I'm in shape. Like, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? I've always been a hands-heavy guy. You know what I'm saying? With my kickboxing approach, with my Muay Thai approach. So I was like, let's do it. And that's how that boxing stuff happened. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I was really curious on that because, man, you were good with the kicks too, man. You got real good with the kicks, and obviously, you know, in mixed martial arts, there's a lot more to it. You gotta know how to wrestle to an extent too. You gotta train that jiu-jitsu. We talked about that earlier. Being able to be good on the ground and grabbing and all that kind of stuff. It's a whole different another part to it that you wouldn't need to train. I just think in another universe, it would have been cool to see you kind of continue that. And look, we never know what's gonna happen, man. Hey. But cool. So then you guys make that decision so how long did it take you when your coach spoke with you to be like, all right, like I'm gonna do this? Was it immediately? Immediately you were like, all right, I'm gonna do it?
Because I've always wanted to do it. That was always like our plan. But you know, life just be happening, bro. Yeah. Like there's no better way to describe it. I could tell you this, that, the third about why it didn't happen when it was supposed to happen. But it's just really life, bro. Like he has a mom who's like damn near 100 years old that he takes care of. You know what I'm saying? And like she's way up in New Jersey and stuff like that, so he has to tend to her. Like I had my own life stuff. I was damn near married, you know what I'm saying, a year ago and stuff like that. Like, bro, it's just life, bro. Yeah. I'm just glad like I was able to pursue the opportunity when I was younger versus trying to pursue it like at age 29 to 30. Yeah. Which isn't like late, but it's late enough. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But yeah.
Man, and when was that conversation we had with him?
I think that was that's time fly, bro. That was like in, I want to say June or July.
So this past summer, you're like, all right, boxing it is, and you're going all the way in.
Right.
And this past weekend, I know we talked about at the beginning of the podcast, was your first professional boxing match, your debut.
That was the first boxing fight ever, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, dang, that too. Yeah, I guess so. I didn't even think about it like that.
Yeah.
This is your first boxing match. Wow. Yeah. And first still professional, but so how was it leading up to it? And then just how was it like this being your first like and that must have been a mental thing too, right? Because I assume the opponent that you fought, he's probably boxed tons of matches.
He had
before.
he had like a little bit of an amateur background, but it wasn't that crazy though. It wasn't nothing crazy. It was like I'm gonna tell you about like how boxing works, like the game and stuff like that. But then I'm also tell you about the summer that I had. I'll start with the summer that I had. Man, I was surrounded by a lot of good guys, bro. Shout out to my boy Tristan, man. That's my big brother. He's known me since I was 14. And, bro, he held pads with me. I was on the belt line hitting pads with him. In parks hitting pads with him in gym, in the crunch gym. Like, bro, we was working out all summer, bro. So shout out to bro. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to my boy Chris and my little brother Eli and my boy Wes. Man, I'm talking about we was out there grinding, bro. Whole summer, bro, grinding, sparring, drills, all that stuff. So shout out to the guys, man. I wouldn't be able to do it without them. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, bro. So like, man, that's the whole reason I was able to even really do it was because of them dudes, bro. It takes a village, bro. Like, man, you can't do it on your own. I feel like I'm a very capable, talented young man, definitely in shape. But at the same time, bro, you can't do it on your own, bro. You gotta have some type of team. You gotta have a group of men like supporting you, and those men supported me throughout this whole summer. So I definitely appreciate y'all boys for sure. And what was the other question we were just talking?
Man, I think shoot, you said you were gonna hit 2 points. Oh man, hold up. I think it was, man, you were like, I'm gonna tell you about how the summer went. Oh yeah, so I asked you, like, how was it like leading up to the match, to the fight? How was it leading up to the fight? And
I can't remember that point from nothing.
man, I guess,
Shout out the guys, man.
yeah, I guess like how was the like leading up to the fight, like that, like just leading up to your first fight.
Bro, there was no pressure behind it, bro. You know what I'm saying? There was no pressure behind it. Bro, this was actually something I was talking with another brother of mine who used to train Muay Thai with me all the time. Shout out to Mike Chef, bro, man. We were talking about something that like I didn't want to admit, but I had to admit and come to grasp with over the summer as well. The summer was a lot of like figuring stuff out mentally as well too within my own head. Bro, I was struggling with imposter syndrome like crazy, bro. I ain't want to admit it, man. I was like, man, why the fuck like would I be in fights and stuff like that and like not be pulling the trigger like how I wanted to? You know what I'm saying? Even in the fight that you saw that I won in November, like that wasn't me, like. Because I'm a very pressured, like, hand-heavy guy. Like, I be in your face and stuff like that. Like, I fought a good fight. You know, it was a fun fight. And then the fight that I also fought right after was a title fight. A lot of people feel like I got robbed in. I do feel like I got robbed in as well. But, like, I was like, why? Like, it took me so long to, like, pull the trigger. Like, you could always put it on, like, how a training camp went or whatever the case might be. But you got to also look at yourself. You know what I'm saying? I always try to make sure, like, anytime, no matter if it's a win or a loss, I look at myself. All right, what could I have done to change this outcome or make this outcome better? You know what I'm saying? And I was like, man, I have to admit that, like, for a long time, like, I was struggling with the fact that I didn't feel like I am who I am. You know what I'm saying? And, like, everything, like, even when I would, like, be sparring, like, back in the 2022, 23 era, like, I would be, like, getting hit by people who, like, I was not supposed to even be getting hit by, you know what I'm saying? Or at least in my head. Mm-hmm. So I had to learn how to let go of that ego while also, like, checking myself and be like, bro, you're a great fighter, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to get out your head, but at the same time, realize that this is fighting. This ain't a movie, bro. You're not Batman, bro. You're going to get hit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to really walk a fine line between being confident and checking their ego, bro, as a fighter, as a man. You know what I'm saying? You got to understand, like, as a fighter, like, okay, yeah, I'm really good, but at the same time, yeah, I get hit and I still need to work on stuff too. You You know what I'm saying? Like, I was just struggling with a lot of stuff. Like, I would say that imposter syndrome stuff probably started after that loss I took. You know what I'm saying? And leading all the way up until, like, May of this year when I identified it, you know what I'm saying? And it was like, oh, shit, like, I got to, like, really, like, you know what I'm saying, lock down and really check that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a believer in God and stuff like that, so I do a lot of prayer and stuff like that. And also just really, you got to link up with the right people, bro. That's why I shouted the guys out, man, because, like, I feel like a lot of the reason why I was able to overcome that was talking and being around the right people. Also, shout out to my big brother, Ismail. You know what I'm saying? He's like my mentor and stuff like that. I call him Bruce Wayne because he's a millionaire. He don't like to tell people that and shit. But, very smart black entrepreneur, and also was an ex-professional basketball player. I know you vote with the basketball and stuff like that. He used to play for Georgia Tech, too. And he just been he also did Muay Thai as well. He finished his career undefeated. And he just always talked with me and, like, helped me and stuff like that because he knew I was, like, very passionate about what I was doing. And I don't even think I ever told him, like, I actually was struggling with that stuff. So, like, when this come out, I definitely want to show him this and stuff. And, like, he definitely helped me, like, with my mental and just, like, you know, really, like, you know, biting down and understanding who I am as a person.
Yeah, I was just, by the way, you want some pomegranate juice? We usually do this at the beginning, man. I totally, like, we got into it earlier talking. But, no, I was going to, it's funny, not funny that you brought that up, because I was literally about to start asking you questions around that. Because, like, boxing is such a, it's 1v1, and while you do have a camp and you have a team, it's, you're also kind of, you're alone in that. When it's down to fight, like, you're by yourself. It's not you don't have a team around you. You're not passing someone else the ball while you're taking a breather. It's like you're always on offense. You're always on defense, you know. And what kind of things mentally help you get prepared for a fight? Just mentally, also even like through training camp is a mental challenge itself, right? Because you're going hard for. You know, some people, I don't know when your camp starts, if it's 8 weeks out, 12 weeks out.
I don't think I really have a camp, bro, to be honest with you. I be training so much, like.
You're always ready.
Yeah, I'm just be ready, bro. But, man, bro, I had that Kobe approach, bro. Like, I don't really watch basketball and stuff like that, but I respect legends of all sports. You know what I'm saying? Like, Kobe Bryant, work ethic was insane. Insane. I'm talking about dude shooting baskets and stuff like that before the game and stuff, like. Man, dude was crazy with it, man. Like, people used to talk about, like, back in the day, like, about how, like, stingy he was with the ball and stuff like that because he loved to win. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, you got to have that mentality, bro. Like, man, you have to go out there with winning on your mind and winning by any means necessary, bro. And, like, the only way to really do that and to really lock in that hard is by training like a fucking savage. Bro, you got to train like you're insane, bro. People got to be looking at you like, bro, why you still out here running like that? You ain't got no fight coming up. Why you be out here working out so much, bro? I had people question and ask me that all the time. You know what I'm saying? And, like, before the imposter syndrome stuff, like, I used to be like, man, because I'm winning. That's why the fuck I'm out here doing it. You know what I'm saying?
What drives, like, what drives your confidence? Is it, like, what you're saying, the training? Like, I know I put in the work. So, like, that's I put in the work, so it is what it is when I'm fighting. I did everything I could. Is that kind of what you're leaning towards when it comes to, like the confidence, like what's giving you the confidence, or is it more like deeper down, like you were talking about spiritual earlier? Like, is it like, I'm trying to understand that part, like that mental component. Like your fight, it's you tomorrow fighting, for example. Like, you're going into this battle. You got a team, you have everything, but it's you going into the battle. What's going on in your mind?
Right. There's two versions of Walt. So, like, the first one that went into the fight, like, if the young Walt, you know, went into the fight tomorrow, he'll be like, oh, shit, I got these people around me. You know what I'm saying? I'm that dude. I train hard. You know what I'm saying? I'm winning. At one point, I was like 18-0 and stuff like that, so I was undefeated and stuff. And I was like, man, can't nobody fuck with me. You know what I'm saying? That was what it was going into the fight. Nowadays, I've taken a couple losses, some bad losses. You know what I'm saying? Been through a lot of stuff. Lost a girl who I thought I was going to be with for the rest of my life and stuff. So I had to, like, ask myself a bunch. All right, who am I and how do I get in that ring now? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm definitely not that person that I was when I was in my teenage years. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So why am I still out here doing this? What's making me chase this when sometimes I'll be broke, don't have no money and stuff like that to do it, or sometimes I'm tired to the point where I can barely fucking lift my damn arms because my shoulders are burnt out, or whatever the case might be. What makes me want to get up and do it? And, bro, it's because of the simple fact that I just love it. Yeah. I just love it. I have a love for it. I have a serious love for the game, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have a serious love for boxing. I have a serious love for martial arts. I have a serious love for being really good at it. You know what I'm saying? And that's what really keeps me going. It's just the idea of being good at it. Like, even when I'm done with all this and it's all said and done, that chapter is closed and written, I'm going to still be doing it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not on the level that I'm doing it now, you know what I'm saying, but I'm still going to be out here doing it. Like, I'm not going to be one of those people, no offense to Nassim Ahmed, but I'm not going to be fat and stuff like that. I'm not going to be out there just kind of like, you know, living my life and just, you know, enjoying the benefits of my hard work and just not doing it anymore. I'm going to always do it. I'm going to always be obsessed with it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, it's a very unique sport, and man, I was also gonna like just kind of now reflecting back on this entire kind of journey that we've been talking about, kind of condensing it. I'm thinking about it, like it's crazy how those years fly by. You know, you've been fighting for just a little over 10 years now, and it's crazy like how, you know, there's a few gaps here and there, but that time, like that decade just went by really quick. So, you know, right now, fight one done under your belt. What's next? Like, what's do you have any fight coming up?
I don't want to say it because my coach told me to keep that on the low and stuff like that. But man, we're gonna try to stay as busy as we can, bro. For sure. Yeah.
I guess my question is more so lean towards like, do you want to, like, how active do you want to be?
Man, once again, I don't want to say too much, but man, our goal is to be 15-0, you know, by the end of next year. You know what I'm saying? Like, we want to boom, 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 because I'm always in shape. Ain't no reason for me to even, like, have to really do any heavy camps and stuff like that unless it's for a particular type of person. You know what I'm saying? We want to stay just focused. I ain't dating. I ain't doing none of that shit right now, man. Because I just want to focus on getting where I need to go. Because like we said, that 10-year flew by like it was nothing. Yep. The next 10 years is going to do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? And so I just want to just stay focused, lock in, and just, you know, keep the ball rolling.
No, that's real, man. Shoot, next 14 months going to be busy. That's like a fight a month. But, oh, shoot. But, yeah, that's, nah, man, that's really cool. That's a lot of fights. Yeah. That's y'all's goal? Wow.
Yeah, bro. We trying to stay busy, man. Trying to be like old school with it, bro. Like the fighters used to fight all the time.
Yeah. No, man, it's I was just kind of looking at it too. Like, someone was talking about it, like the difference between fighting and like a mixed martial arts fight versus like a boxing fight, and just kind of like the longevity of the both, like just and things like that. Have you ever thought about that? Like, you know, in boxing, you can get like hit in the head. They give you like 10 seconds to recover. On the 7th second, you're back into it, but you're kind of still like, you know, and taking those hits. How do you feel about that part of the fight game and everything? I know, like, I'm sure you've thought about it and things like that.
I try not to ponder on it too heavy because of the simple fact that, like, man, you can't go in there with no fear, man. You can't go in there with no second thoughts about your safety or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine, like, if a warrior did that on the battlefield, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're dead. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really do have to treat it like that in boxing, especially. I feel like boxing is actually more dangerous than mixed martial arts and even kickboxing and stuff like that. Even though they have more tools than the other sports, boxing, you can only get hit here and here. And especially here, it's a problem. CTE is a real thing. You know, so that's another reason why I train the way I do and stuff like that, because I want to be as conditioned, as primed as I can be mentally and physically, because that shit ain't no joke, bro. Yeah. It's not. People die in that sport all the time.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. No, that's why I actually brought that up, too. It's like, it's crazy to look at those numbers on that side, too. But, man, so training, like, you training every day?
Not every day, bro. So in a fight camp, I train 6 days a week. Yeah, I'm active every day. I'm active every day. Yeah, in a fight camp, I train like 6 days a week. Out of a fight camp, it's like 5 days a week. You know what I'm saying? I might do something light on the 6th day. You know what I'm saying? So I guess it's 6 days, but you know, it's definitely slowed down in comparison to the average Walt week when he's getting ready for a fight.
You know? What does your diet look like?
Wow, I don't got no diet.
No diet? None. Just,
I mean,
like, what is it? What is the average? What's the average Walt day? You gotta let us know. Like, what's an average Walt day from?
All right, man. So I've been doing better, and I know my Uncle Dunny gonna watch this. He gonna be trying to talk shit, man, because I lived with him for a year. Yeah. But man, nowadays I try to eat as many eggs as I can because of the protein. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I try, like, bro, when I was getting ready for the fight, I was cooking like 8 eggs a day. Wow. Yeah, trying to get that protein down. I try to drink at least a gallon like a day or a gallon and a half in 2 days. You know what I'm saying? So I try to drink and consume a lot of water, especially when it's hot in the summer. You know, it get real humid here. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because that'll also keep you away from injuries and stuff like that, having a lot of fluids. You know what I'm saying? So like just a lot of eggs, a lot of water, a lot of protein and stuff like that. Also try to get a lot of fruit and stuff like that, just for like carbohydrates and energy. You know what I'm saying? I like salads and stuff like that, so I'll try to stick with some salads. But I ain't on those particular plan, bro. Yeah, I ain't on no particular plan. Huh? Oh yeah, bro. I know a lot of people are against it. Bro, I love red meat, bro. Bro, the protein. Yeah. Salad, fruit. Nah. I eat protein, man. Okay. Yeah, I'm from Atlanta, man, so you know I love me some chicken wings and stuff like that, but they ain't got that much protein. But some of the best protein you can get is red beef, bro. For real. Like, man, love steak, love hamburgers and stuff like that. In fact, bro, there be times, like, because I be kind of testing stuff, like seeing like what works more for my body and stuff. Like, there be times where like I'll eat like some red meat or like something high in protein, like for lunch, and then I'll take a nap or whatever the case might be, some downtime. And then like later on throughout the day, bro, I'll feel great. Like that next workout, that second workout, bro, I'll feel like a crackhead, bro. I'll be out there running crazy, bro, hitting the bag like crazy. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that protein intake, sometimes a little dirty protein intake is good for you every now and then. Yeah.
Okay. Pretty simple diet, and a lot of running, man. I always see you running, man. That's crazy. 8 miles a day.
Yeah, something like that.
Do you get are you ever sore? Or do you feel like your body's so used to it?
Nah, bro, I be sore, bro. I ain't gonna even lie. That's why I've been trying to add more stretching and shit like that in, bro. I hate it though, bro, but I be trying to do it, man.
You feel like, man, I swear, I feel like when I stretch sometimes, I feel like it's a waste of time. You're like, man, and it takes so long. If you're really trying to get a good stretch in, it takes like 45 minutes.
Not fast.
If you really want to get a proper, like you gotta hold for like 30, like you gotta hold for 30 seconds and then do it like 3 times. And if you really want to get a stretch in, but you're like, dang, it takes like 45 minutes. Like, is today like stretch day?
Man, I'm actually probably gonna start doing some hot yoga, bro.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah.
Yeah, bro. I know Floyd Mayweather was doing that a lot. You know what I'm saying? And he had a long career and stuff like that. So I definitely want to do something that can like keep me in the game for as long as I can. You know what I'm saying? Not feel so broken down and stuff like that too. Because I've had them days where I was like, bro, ain't no way I should be feeling like this at 25. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely had to add that stretching in there, bro. But I get you, though. I be having them days where I be like, man, this shit ain't working.
Yeah, stretching is a big one. And do you lift?
No, I don't do any lifting. Not for real.
At all?
Just like calisthenics, I would be doing push-ups, pull-ups, add workouts, stuff like that. I'm probably going to add, like, just because, like, I be throwing a lot of punches so much, I'm probably going to add, like, some stuff with my bro Tristan, because he's a personal trainer and stuff like that, and he used to play football. And so we probably gonna do some stuff just to make sure I had like stability in my shoulders, you know what I'm saying, and for my legs, for my knees and stuff like that too. But like, yeah, I don't do any heavy lifting. It's just gonna be all for like movement and.
But you're not lifting at all.
Nah.
So your workouts are purely just push-ups, sit-ups. You doing like squats?
Yeah, squats.
No weights on squats, just squats.
No weights though, no weights. Just body weight, boxing. Wow. Very old school approach to it.
Yeah, no, man, that's real. That's real.
Yeah, that goes back to what we were talking about, like with like there's a lot of controversy on the training methods. Yeah. Man, weightlifting does not make you good at fighting, bro. It doesn't, man. It's not the same type of motion. Yeah. Like hitting a bench or hitting a deadlift. That shit ain't the same thing, bro. I've never look at it like this, right? I used to do Muay Thai, right? I've never ever been out clinched. I've never been like thrown around by anybody who lift heavy. And I don't did it with some dudes who've been like big and stuff like that because they lift a lot. But like the dudes who I've had most problems with, you know what I'm saying, power-wise in the clinch, were always the small, wiry Thai guys. You know what I'm saying? We was in that bitch battling. You know, I'd be stronger than them just because, you know what I'm saying, you know. But like being black and shit like that, you had that little extra in you. But man, those dudes are incredibly strong because what are they doing all the time? Yeah. Clinching. You know what I'm saying? They're wrestling and stuff like that all the time. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta, you know, teach his own. I ain't hate nobody. ain't hating on nobody's training methods, but I'm definitely old school with the approach for sure.
How many pull-ups could you do straight?
Straight? 15. Yeah, 15 straight. Solid ones, like real ones.
Real ones, yeah. That's real. Man, for the people listening that like would want or like thinking of becoming, you know, want to get into professional boxing. Younger kids, older, and they want to get into that. They've thought about it before. Like, what are some things up into your career now? Because, you know, you're just now kind of kicking off the boxing career, but, you know, you've been in the fight space for over a decade, started when you were younger. What is something that you feel like is something that you could kind of tell like a 16-year-old version of yourself, but that could also go to the world too, of like those that are, you know, also interested and have thought about it, or maybe haven't thought about it, but this could help, like, you know, inspire them.
Right. Do not think you about to come into this and just start making money, bro. It's a broke man sport, bro. Do it because you love it. You know what I'm saying? And then it'll take off, like, as you keep doing it and stuff like that. God willing. But, like, do not come in this thing thinking that you just be making buku Floyd Mayweather cash. That's not how that worked. Floyd put in so many hours, bro, before he was able to even get to that level. And he's the best of all time, you know what I'm saying, in the modern era. You know, so, like, just don't come into this thinking this is going to be all about money. You know what I'm saying? If you're a young man, bro, stay away from the females, bro. No offense to them and stuff like that, but it ain't nothing but a distraction. You know what I'm saying? Focus on your path and, bro, grind, bro. Grind. You got to fall in love with it. Like, you can't just do it and go party with the friends and do it, be out drinking and shit like that. You shouldn't be drinking. You shouldn't be smoking. None of that stuff, bro. Like, really lock in. You know what I'm saying? Have fun with it. And if you don't want to do it anymore, stop doing it. Because like I just said, it's dangerous. Like, it's fun when it's fun. It's fun when you pepping somebody up, you hitting them. It ain't fun when they doing that to you. You know what I'm saying? So, like, just do it because you love it. That's the main thing I would tell somebody. And get people around you who also love you, not as a fighter, but as a person. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. And I saw you saying something in your previous interviews and whatnot, where you were talking about it's a science. You guys were in practice saying it's a science. Can you explain that a little bit further? Like,
right, man. So basically, man, you gotta understand, like, bro, that C-Red shit don't work, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you hear that on the street, man. Like, man, bro, if I was boxing, like, somebody hit me, bro, I'll see red. I'm taking the gloves out. And what you gonna do? Get beat up worse? That don't make no sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta understand, like, there's a particular type of way to actually knock somebody out. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people don't even understand, like, the rotational force behind it. It only takes 5 pounds of pressure to render somebody unconscious if you hit them correctly. You know what I'm saying? Not a lot. So imagine, like, you putting, like, your whole body, I weigh, like, 145 pounds, putting your whole body behind it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a true, legit science to know how to throw a punch, to know how to block a punch, to evade a punch. So that's what we mean by it. That's all.
Yeah. Nice. Well, man, shoot, I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, this is a good talk. I wanted to make sure that we cover a little bit of those points and kind of going over it. And I know this is just the beginning of the boxing journey, and but, you know, hopefully we can look back at this moment, you know, as your kind of career continues from there and revisit it again and see where you're at in the next point. But yeah, I appreciate you sharing your journey with everyone, man. I know especially in this sport, it's a lot different than other sports, and there's a different, you know, upbringing, drive, mentality that kind of gets you in it, but then also that gets you through it.
Right.
You know, so I appreciate you sharing your story.
Most definitely.
And
Thanks for having me on, man.
yeah, of course, man, of course. And I appreciate you coming and again, sharing the story. And it's been really great. And for anyone that's out there that's trying to, you know, get into professional boxing, you know, as Walt here shared his journey, you know, we're excited to see what other people kind of kick off their journey. And man, we're going to be watching your journey, man. And again, man, appreciate you. And this was great, man.
Appreciate you having me, bro.